comment on Keating. I was wondering if there is a research done. The more Keating was on telly, has a correlation to more sales of double-breasted suits. I think there's some.
I haven't seen the data, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Coming to, as we talked about, early learning and early education, so the two kind of taxpayers, as in the exchequer, the state or the federal government spends money on young people. Mm-hmm. A child is born and it spends so much taxpayers' money on education, health, and by the time it turns 22, that's when this person becomes a taxpayer. Whereas that's a long-term policy planning. The short-term policy is identify a skilled migrant who will come into the next month to the country and start paying taxes.
Yeah.
So there are two extreme ends. One is long-term, consistent investing in this young person, a young child born, an Australian child born, versus a skilled migrant being imported. So how do you see the economics working on the extreme end? Because this might be a quick fix, this might be a long-term permanent fix.
I think we need both, and I think they're both complementary. And I don't think we can achieve what we want to achieve as a nation without both of those things. I think when it comes to skilled migration, I look at, and I spent a decade living in the US, I look at the United States, and I think if you look at just from a raw economic perspective, that's not the only lens through which I think we should see immigration, but if you just look at it through a raw economic lens, if you look at CEOs of top 5, Fortune 500 companies. Yeah. If you look at some of the founders of, the biggest and most important and most successful and most innovative companies in the United States, the proportion of those people who are migrants is really stunning. And I think the US has achieved that over, the last half century or more by having the best higher education institutions in the world, by providing the most opportunity for people who migrate, by providing very deep capital markets so that people with great ideas can get them funded and put them into action and put them into practice. And so I look at what the US has achieved with that and think, well, there's the poster child for what you can get out of migration. At the same time, America's had a lot of fantastic homegrown talent. So, people like Bill Gates have done okay. Mark Zuckerberg's done okay and made contributions. And of course, there are many others. But I think you need both. And I think very often the debate sort of oscillates between doing one or the other. And I think that's a mistake.
A good mix is always good.
A good mix is good.